Joanna, you're next.
I recite my times tables every night before bed.
Why?
Because I've always been rubbish at maths. It just doesn't go in my head. My brain doesn't compute that way. And I can learn loads and loads of lines if I'm acting, but I've never been able to get my times tables in. And I thought, before I die, I want to be able to do my times tables. And also, when you go to a sale and you go shopping, when it says 75% off a dress or 40%, I can't work that out. I know it's thick and I feel embarrassed because I'm sitting next to you and you've got a degree.
I'm a famous mathematician. I'm actually, my secret identity is percentage man.
I thought, I don't want to die and not be able to do my times tables.
Could you recite them now, then?
Before I go to bed, my husband lies next to me and I say, I do them, and then I say,
It's
right,
nice to see the
fire them
romance,
at
isn't
me.
it? I tell you what, dear, it's cold in the valleys, isn't it? Don't worry, I've got a game that'll cheer us up. What'd you start? What's the first one? It's not your 2 times table, is it?
Yeah,
oh
it
my
is.
goodness.
I've gone as far as about my 6, and I get to 7. Don't go in.
What's 7 times 5?
I'm gonna... Oh, God, this is so embarrassing. Right.
35.
35. That is why I'm doing it. That's why I'm learning them.
Yeah, but you might have dyscalculus, like me, so you're not thick.
Have what?
Dyscalculus, same as dyslexia, so that's what I've got.
Oh, yeah, right.
That is
I've got shorterless.
Well, that's true.
Don't you come round here giving any of that, sweetheart. You'll be barred from this bloody pub, all right?
But that is true, you might have that. You're not thick.
Oh,
If there are
yeah.
any kids watching, you're not thick if you can't add up.
Well, you're a bit thick, aren't you?
Well, I mean, it's a bit late, isn't it?
You're not bright, let's put it like that.
Do you do it every single night without fail? Even if you come in really pissed, you still do it? You're getting on the times table?
Yeah, I still try to do it, yeah.
How bad is it? If there's a dress for 80 quid and it says 50% off, will you struggle?
Right, well, this is right. No, that would be £40, wouldn't it? Yeah. But I've got to check with you when I say it. I can't just say straight off.
What I often find, actually, is in shops, when they take a percentage off the original price, they will also tell you the subsequent price. It's quite a minority of shops that make you work it out. If you get it wrong, that's what you pay. Even if it's less than they wanted to charge. They go, I hope we don't get one of those dyscalculus people in. I thought it was 50p. Have to sell it to me.
So, Lee, what are you going to say? Is she telling the
What
truth?
have you cracked? Which one do you think you've...
I've cracked 1, 2, 3,
What?
4, 5, 6.
You mean you've learned how to count? OK, you've cracked the ones, the twos...
And I cracked 7 the other night.
Right, give us the 7 times table.
But I can't do it now, I can't remember it. 1 7 is 7. Oh, foul, this is like my worst nightmare. 1 7 is 7, 2 7s are 14, 3 7s are 21, 4 7s are 28, 5 7s, now this is where it all fell. 5 7s are 35, 6 7s are 42, 7 7s are 40, right, this is 49, 49, 8 7s are 54, 52.
Higher.
56.
Okay.
What was that? 9 7s are 56, 10 7s are 70, 11 7s are 77, 12 7s are 84, 88, 92.
Right, so...
Don't clap, it's not a Jeremy Kyle show. 7 times table.
I think this could be a cracking new round.
Lee, is it the truth?
I think it's a lie.
Why do you think it's a lie?
Why would anybody do that at night? That's the last thing you need before you go to bed.
I think it's true.
Patsy thinks it's
Patsy's
true.
going to stick on true.
We'll go with Patsy, though.
All right, then, so, Joe, truth or lie?
That is true.
Yes, it's true. Actually, Joe, I've got a mental arithmetic problem for you. If you take one husband and recite multiplication tables at him 7 nights a week, how many divorce lawyers will he need? Kevin, you're next.
I once accidentally bought a horse.
Sorry? You bought a what?
A horse.
A horse. Sorry, I missed the S.
You claim that you once accidentally bought a horse. Am I right?
You're right.
Right, fine. We're all clear. Under what circumstances? What did you think you were buying?
I never thought I was buying anything. I thought I was renting.
Did you think you were renting a horse?
Yes.
Right. So you paid to rent a horse, and then at the end, when you tried to return the horse, they said, "What the hell are you doing? I've been trying to get rid of Psycho for years."
That's pretty much it.
How long had you imagined that you were going to rent it for?
We thought we were going to rent it for like 25 minutes.
And did they charge you?
It was in Bulgaria on holiday.
OK, so what did it cost in local Bulgarian currency?
What is the local Bulgarian currency?
It was 200 lev. Lev, L-E-V. I don't know how you pronounce it, but lev.
200 lev.
200
How
Bulgarian.
much is that in sterling, roughly?
Roughly, I
At
think
the
it's
time.
at the time, I think it was at £90. So we thought it was a good deal
£90 for 25
for
minutes.
25 minutes on a horse.
But you said we thought we were going to rent it for 25 minutes.
There was me and my friend.
So you
It
were
was a
going to
lad's holiday, we were 18, we thought
we
we'll go horse riding.
In Bulgaria.
in Bulgaria.
Did you question the odd sort of time slots they were going for?
No,
I've never been pony trekking, but I imagine they sort of rent you the horse for perhaps a couple of hours.
Oh,
or at least a solid half hour.
You get 25 minutes and then the horse needs a break for 5 minutes and then
And
somebody
then
else
you
comes.
keep the horse forever.
Oh, I never knew that.
What happened when you tried to take it back?
The guy explained to us that the guy was gone. The guy...
Never say the phrase on this game. The guy explained to us that he'd gone.
Oh, there was two.
Never say that.
There was two different guys. There was two
You have
guys.
to go through me if you want to speak to my client.
There was guy A. Guy A.
That's a Bulgarian name.
Very well known. The most famous Bulgarian name.
Right, guy Dimitri. I think that... No, guy A. And guy B. Right? We thought we were going horse riding and we were heading towards the place where you actually hire the horse.
Stables.
The official... the stables. Right?
Honestly, even I think he's making it up, and I'm on his team.
Bit of patience, Brian. Come on. Right. We met a guy on the way who had a horse, and we thought he was doing that thing, in Asda, when you've got a shopping trolley, and you're taking it back, and somebody else needs a trolley, and you say, "Oh, do you want this one?" So we thought the guy was saying,
I don't need to go all the way to the actual stable. I'm from the stable,
Yeah.
so just hire this horse.
That's what the guy said?
Yeah.
So we thought, all right, there was a bit of a communication breakdown. There was a Bulgarian guy trying to speak English and two Scottish guys trying to speak English. So we thought the guy had gave us the horse to ride and come back in 25
Were
minutes.
you not surprised that... I mean, I've never been on holiday to Bulgaria, but I imagine that things would be a bit cheaper in Bulgaria than in Britain. Were you not surprised that it cost you the equivalent of £90 to hire a horse for 25 minutes?
It was 25 minutes each, so it was two of us.
Right.
So we chipped in for a horse. For 25 minutes each.
But still, even if you thought you were going to get 25 minutes each, that's a lot, isn't it?
Oh, it's an hour. You need to give the horse a break, as I said.
Let's forget about the 25 minutes.
Just forget
for
about the
now,
horse.
'cause
Forget about the horse, yeah.
That's absolutely, obviously bullshit. You take the horse back. Guy B, who's the guy you met on the way to the stables...
He's gone.
He's gone.
He's
No
gone.
sign of him.
No, he's gone.
So you say to Guy A, well, we hired this as part of your not bothering to actually go to the stables but getting it a few hundred yards away scheme. We hired this horse for 25 minutes at an extortionate rate. Nevertheless, here it is. And what did he say?
We went back to the place where we picked up the horse.
Oh, so not to the stable,
No.
but to the random
never got
point
right.
in the road. A couple of hundred yards from the stable. So you, bewilderedly, where has the mysterious man gone? I would have thought that logically, when you were returning it, having thought that it had come from the stable, but you'd been lucky not to have to walk to the stable before hiring it, you might nevertheless have thought, well, the stable's where it's got to go back to,
Yeah.
rather than, well, Sodom, this is where we picked it up from, I'm not actually taking the stable. I'm going to stand here, 300 yards away from the stable, going, come over here! point locals start waving, going, no! You keep!
Kevin, look at me. You're taking the horse back.
Look at me!
What happened next?
Come on, Kevin. Come on.
Right. So where are we taking off from?
You're taking the horse back.
Let's go back to the start.
Kevin Bridges, for the love of God, please tell us what happened.
Right. We bought a horse. We thought we'd rented the horse. We'd done the horse riding, took it back to the initial place we picked up the horse.
Yes.
Locals explained we'd went to a counterfeit horse guy. It wasn't the official horse riding stable.
This was a counterfeit horse. This wasn't a genuine horse. This was maybe two guys in a costume.
That would explain the 25 minutes.
Yeah.
I can only do 25 minutes.
The giveaway was after 25 minutes, and Rob went... Right, let's crack on, lads.
So, David's team. What do you think? Truth or lie?
I mean, the trouble with this game is it plays tricks with your mind. But I don't think it's true.
You don't really. It's got to be, hasn't
It's
it?
got to be a lie.
Got to be a lie.
Yeah.
Saying it's a lie. Right, so here we go. It really is.
Here's the moment.
This is more than any other episode I've done of this show. This is the moment we've been waiting for. Kevin Bridges, is it true or is it a lie?
It's true.
Unbelievable. Kate Silverton, you're next.
All right. I once read an entire news bulletin with one foot in a bucket of iced water.
David?
Right. I'm assuming some sort of injury.
Yes, I had sprained my ankle.
By, what, reading a difficult sentence?
I'd raced in a triathlon the day before,
right.
and I'd come a bit of a cropper. So the next day it was it was very, very swollen. So we tried putting it up, but of course that didn't really look that good.
Yeah.
As I was reading the news.
Looks too casual, doesn't it?
We came up with a cunning plan to have a bucket of ice, but it was just, I was in such pain.
It's very odd that you didn't have someone that could do it for you. I mean, you know, you're allowed to take sick leave, surely, on an injury. Why?
Not when you freelance. No, because I went in. Obviously, I wanted to work. If I didn't work, then that's me. I don't get paid. So
someone else gets in there, eh?
Yeah.
I totally believe that.
I don't. The freelance thing.
What do you mean?
What do you mean free? Why can't you be freelance?
Oh, they're like a couple now, aren't they?
Are you that desperate?
Shut up, I'll deal with this.
Were you that desperate for the money?
Well, it was a 3-hour stint. It was on a Sunday morning, and you go in for 3 hours, and it's very, very difficult to get somebody else to cover.
When did you do the injury, actually?
On the Saturday.
At what time?
In the afternoon, like a 3 o'clock race.
Oh, I see. And what part of the race was it?
The running bit at the end.
Where did you come in the race?
Good Lord, it's like a slightly Camp Inspector Morse. Please take your guess. Is she telling the truth?
Yes.
Would you like to consult with your team?
What do you think?
I think it's probably true.
What do you think?
I think it's true, but...
Yes, true. It's true. It's true.
So they're saying it's true. Kate Silverton, truth or lie?
It is a lie.
It's a lie. Kate did not read an entire news bulletin with one foot in a bucket of iced water. To be fair, being a newsreader is simply reading words from an auto cue. Any idiot can do that. Smile, pause for laughter, encourage applause.
Nice stupid face at the end, I like that.
Sanjeev is first up.
I once had to ask Michael Winner to calm down after I crashed into his car.
David.
Right. Was this... At the time when you asked him to calm down, had his brilliant eShore campaign already hit our screens and so it, you know, seemed like an apposite thing to say? Or was this years ago and angrier Michael Winner, who still had a film career?
Yeah. I think it was before the adverts.
Right, so maybe that's what gave him the idea.
Quite possibly.
What car was he driving?
He was driving a Bentley.
What colour?
I don't know, it was dark.
Well, it was at night or it was a dark Bentley?
Both. It was dark, that's why it blended in.
Right.
That's why I hit him.
Are you sure he had a car at all?
Well, you mean I just hit him up the arse?
Well, he was once a very large man.
What was your car?
I was in a Vauxhall Cavalier.
And where did the crash happen?
Yes.
It was Kensington High Street in London.
Who was in the car with him?
No one, I think.
He was driving himself?
He was driving himself, yeah.
Describe the whole incident.
It was raining and it was dark and I braked. And the guy in front of me braked very suddenly and I went into the back of him.
So you both get out of the car. At this point, you're presumably quite surprised to see that it's Michael Winner.
I started laughing.
Right. What was his response?
He said, that bump is about £1,000. Then Michael Winner got out of the car and he said, I agree with the first chap. I started laughing and he just said, this isn't very funny. And I said, I think it is.
Did you exchange all the details?
I think I gave him my details. I don't think he gave
Did you
me
include the OBE in your details?
Didn't have one at the time.
This was pre-decoration.
Was it this incident that led to your being awarded the OBE? Because I think he should have got a knighthood.
Well...
You have to kill him for that.
I'm surprised he didn't have a passenger with him, because he's very friendly with Michael Caine. I was driving down the road when we felt a prang in the arse. I looked around. Who do you bloody think it was? Only Sanjeev Bhaskar, pre-decoration. What do you think, David's team?
Michael Winner does have a driver, always talks about the driver in his reviews.
Well, you think it's true.
Well, I'm so gullible. I think, yes. Oh, did it? Oh, really?
You think it's
well,
a
it
lie.
happened.
It's a lie.
There's something about that he would have a chauffeur or someone else in the car. So, on the basis I have the casting vote, I'm going to say lie.
Saying that it's a lie.
Yeah.
OK. Sanjeev Bhaskar, OBE. Are you telling the truth or telling a lie?
I'm telling the truth.
Whoa. Yes. It's true. Sanjeev did once have to ask Michael Winner to calm down after he crashed into his car. It was a serious accident, but a couple of good panel beaters and some light touching up, and Michael looked as good as new. It's Lee.
I've placed a £500 bet at the bookies that I'll live till I'm 100.
David's team, what do you think?
When did you place this bet?
I placed this bet when I was 18 years old.
And what odds did they offer?
They offered odds of 1,000 to 1.
1,000 to 1. And you... Sorry, how much did you bet again?
£500.
So, when you're 100, you stand to gain what?
£47, £38.
How old are you now?
I'm 41.
Right, so at 18...
£500,000.
How...
Got it. Well done.
So you're only a couple of years younger than me. At 18, £500 was quite a lot of money back then.
It was.
Where did you get £500 from?
I inherited it from my granddad, who reached the age of 100.
Oh.
And I thought that would be an appropriate thing to do.
Your granddad was 100 before you were 18. How old's your dad when you're 18?
Sorry?
When you were 18... When you were 18, your grandfather was 100?
Yes.
No.
So he was 82. Your grandfather was 82 when you were born, right?
Can we stop calling him Grandad and give him his proper name of Step-Grandad?
Oh, nice. OK.
Show some respect for the dead. old?
He was your step-grandfather.
But
Yeah, but can I
still
just-
decided that after your grandfather died, your grandmother married a much, much older man.
Well, she was very old. She was very old when she had my...
Yeah.
my dad.
Why did you decide...
How old was your grandmother when she had your dad?
She
71?
She was 45 when she had my granddad.
Right.
Look, it's a weird family, I'm not going to lie. It's a very weird family.
Why did you decide?
It would make sense,
No,
that math.
She was 45 when she had...
The maths might make sense, but why did you decide that the genes of your step-granddad would be in you?
£500, that would have got you an airfare to Australia.
23 years
Surely
ago.
you'd have spent it on travelling or something like that. I just can't believe that you would...
Oh, yeah. I was grieving. That was not the time to go flying around the world. There's nothing more upsetting than a step-grandfather dying at 100. I'll be honest with you, none of us expected it.
Right, David, time to guess.
Yeah, it's a lie. It's a lie.
You're saying it's a lie?
It's a lie.
Ruth thinks it's a lie. Jason thinks it's a lie. Lee, is it a lie, or were you actually telling us the truth?
It is, in fact, a lie.
No, it's not true, but Lee's going to feel like such an idiot if he does reach 100. Not because he didn't place the bet, but because he'll be wetting himself on a bus and telling strangers he used to be on the telly. Hugh is first up tonight. Hugh, would you reveal all, please?
Occasionally, as a treat, I put Marmite on my face and let my dog lick it off.
Face. And this is a treat for you or the dog?
I see it as a treat for the dog, because...
How does he see it?
Like many people, I don't... Apparently also very much as a treat.
What kind of dog, please?
She's a Springer Spaniel.
You say this is predominantly for the dog. You must enjoy it on some level, because that's quite an extreme activity to do with...
I've always
just for a dog.
I've always liked having my face licked by the family dog. Always.
By just the dog? Anyone else?
Well, cats have a raspy, sandpapery tongue, and it's not nearly so nice.
Have you ever been caught in that awkward moment where you've marmited up and then somebody's rung the doorbell?
By members of the household, but not by strangers at the door.
Do dogs like Marmite?
Dolly does.
I'm not sure that's a helpful line of inquiry, is it?
Do dogs like...
They like salt.
Of course it's a helpful line of inquiry.
Is it a helpful line of inquiry?
If all dogs hate Marmite, it can't be true.
Yeah, I don't think there's anybody on the planet that could answer that question properly.
You don't think there's anyone on the planet
that could answer the question, do all dogs like Marmite? No, I don't think there is.
I don't want this to sound like a rebuke. What I was saying was whether anyone knew whether or not all dogs might hate Marmite. You'd know if all dogs...
That's very much just the other side of the coin in my book.
No, this isn't a coin. There are three things here. There's dogs all hate Marmite, there's dogs all like Marmite, or there's dogs have a similar view to Marmite as humans do.
Yeah, what, let me know hate it? Rob, as someone who's now in Series 4, you never get into conversations like this with David. He always wins or wears you down. Just don't do it. Surely it is almost certainly true that some dogs will like Marmite and some won't.
No. For example, I would say that no cats like baked beans.
Would you? No! You're definitely wrong about that.
For 2 hours, my cat got stuck in a fridge and genuinely ate a bowl of baked beans. Genuine, I swear on my life.
How did the cat get stuck in
The cat, I don't know, just leapt in when my mum opened it once.
And then and you didn't see it? She didn't see a cat in the fridge?
She did that. Probably got some milk, cat jumped in, shut.
Well, she got the milk for the cat, and then where's the cat? Have you seen the cat?
Maybe I'm wrong about cats and baked beans. What I'm saying is there are some foods liked by many humans that certain other species will never eat. Yeah. So what I'm saying is different species like different things, and it is possible.
You said that the things that humans eat, that other animals, all other animals are species...
We've got to learn to work together.
Well, yeah, you really have. In that case, you need to change your opinion.
This programme has taken on tone of civil unrest. I sense anarchy at the gates. David, I'll caution you once. Control your team.
I'm going to have to call in the UN. I can no longer vouch for my team.
Excuse me, what have I done?
I feel like a supply teacher who's been parachuted into a problem school. And is finding it very difficult to cope. Hugh, your original statement was to do with the dog licking off your face. Now, how often does this occur?
It's something I started doing as a kid because it was a good way to... That was several dogs...
Good way to what?
to get the family dog to lick my face.
So, David Mitchell, what are you saying? Truth or lie?
Rod, what do you think?
Oh, no.
I think whatever my captain thinks, I will back him to the hilt.
Oh, my word.
Can I just say that he just touched David's leg in a slightly effeminate manner? Like that.
If that's what it takes to have them working as a team, Miranda, I'm happy.
That whole round was sexual tension, is that what you're doing?
Is that sexual tension?
Oh, yeah.
Well, I don't like it. Miranda, what do you think?
I think it is a lie because he doesn't look that desperate for affection in his life.
It has to be a lie, David, otherwise there's something wrong with him.
So you both think it's a lie?
Yes.
Yes.
OK, we'll say lie.
There's a lot riding on this one.
Right. So, Hugh Fearnley-Whittingstall.
It was a lie.
Yes, it was a lie. Hugh does not put Marmite on his face and let his dog lick it off as a treat. I once let a German Shepherd lick Marmite off my face. If you're watching, Jürgen, I'm sorry. I didn't mean for it to end like that. It's David.
As a child, I used to play board games against a bucket with a face painted on it. I called this bucket Stephen Tatlock.
Wow, what games did you play?
Monopoly. I played a game called Diplomacy. And...
Even then, you were thinking of becoming a politician.
Yeah. Even then. I'm not a politician.
Why Stephen Tatlock?
Well, it was basically named after a friend of mine. Who was...
Why did you play with Stephen Tatlock? He had no hands.
Stephen Tatlock wasn't always there. But after I painted the face on the bucket, he was.
Did he paint the face on the bucket?
I think my dad painted the face.
Your dad was involved in this sad story? You've decided you haven't got any friends, but lucky day for you is this is Stephen Tatlock.
What can I say? My father saw me talking to a bucket and decided to accept that side of my nature.
Did your father invent Henry Hoovers afterwards?
And this is your girlfriend.
So if you were playing Monopoly, you'd have your go, and then you'd run round and pretend to be Stephen, would you?
I wouldn't pretend to be Stephen, but I found I had to roll for Stephen. And Stephen would need help moving his...
Did Stephen ever win?
Yes.
What do you think, Lee? Is he telling the truth?
What do you think?
I don't know many people who have an imaginary friend with a surname.
He's one of the few. Did you call him Stephen Tatlock or Stephen? Did you say, it's your turn, Stephen Tatlock? You must do it quickly, or otherwise you'll go the way of the other buckets.
Usually I'd call him Stephen.
Oh, you were quite friendly then.
Yeah.
Did Stephen Tatlock know there was an imposter?
An imposter?
I call it the imposter.
No, I never mentioned Stephen Tatlock to Stephen Tatlock.
Did you ever mention the real Stephen Tatlock to the bucket?
I think probably not. No, I think that would have been...
They were blissfully unaware of each other's presence.
Sort of been playing with levels of reality. I don't want you to think that I felt I was in any way being unfaithful to the real Stephen.
Oh, yeah. I'm not picturing this as some sort of romantic film. I can't imagine the real Stephen Tatlock walking in on the game and you go, Stephen!
So what do you think then, Lee? Time for a guess. Truth or lie?
I think it's true.
You think it's true?
Don't know why.
Well, look at David. We know why. What do you think, Holly?
I think... I don't think it's true.
I might ask my friend, Boris Dickey. What do you think, Boris Dickey? Boris Dickey says no. It's a lie.
So you're saying it's a lie?
Yes.
You and Boris say it's a lie. OK,
Boris
David.
Dickey!
Boris Dickey. David, truth or lie?
It is, in fact, a lie.
Yes, it was a lie. When David was a child, he didn't play board games against a bucket that he called Stephen Tatlock. Deborah Meaden, you're up next.
A bit pointless putting them on, wasn't it?
I recently had my house exorcised after several weird occurrences spooked me.
Exorcised? But who by? By
a priest.
a priest of what church?
Oh, I don't know. There was... I was put onto him by somebody else that had the same or similar problem.
Internet Church of Dodgy.
The internet.
Yeah. What happened that made you want an exorcist? Was it ectoplasm or poltergeist or what?
No, that things were moving around the house. Furniture was moving. I'd go to bed and get up in the morning and furniture would be moved and...
So what procedure did the man who came to exorcise... Was it a man that came to...
It was.
How was he dressed?
I don't know the exact... He was dressed in black and a dog collar and...
So kinky.
No, I don't know exactly what he did because we had to leave the house. We spent a bit of time in the house and then we had to leave the house.
Can I ask you what they charged?
He didn't charge anything.
Really?
No.
It's a good job, because if you couldn't afford to pay the bill, they'd come back and repossess your house. I'm not going to lie, I'm taking tomorrow off.
I don't know whether I enjoyed the joke more or your look of pride.
Once the priest had performed this exorcism, Deborah, was there a difference? Did it work?
It felt instantly different, yeah.
And things stopped moving?
Things stopped moving.
As the ghost left the house, did it just turn around and go, I'm out?
So do you believe in ghosts, then?
Well, I didn't, to be honest, I didn't. And I wasn't sure it was going to work. But there was definitely something going on in our house.
Worth giving it a try?
Worth giving it a try.
I would remind you that Bernard has travelled in the TARDIS, so if anybody here has knowledge of odd things going on... I mean, he's literally travelled through time and relative dimensions in space.
And by literally, you, of course, mean fictionally.
You have to spoil it, don't you? You're telling me next the Wombles were made up as well. They were wonderful, the Wombles. What are those guys doing now? You never see them anything else.
They're moving furniture now, the Wombles.
Are they? Maybe it was Wombles. Maybe it was. David, what are you going to say?
What do you think, Bernard?
I actually believe in that sort of moving things about, so I'm not quite sure.
Patrick?
It's true.
So what are you saying, David?
Well, you think it's true? It's true, yeah. And you think it's true?
Yeah.
I think it's true. I think it's true.
The team is united in truth. OK.
Yes.
Deborah Meaden, were you telling the truth or were you telling a lie?
A lie.
Nice work.